answer your questions about business and life and everything in between. If you have a question for Beck and Liz, just send it to ask@beckandliz.com. That's ask@beckandliz.com. We'll get to your question. In the meantime, we do have a question, and it has to do, Elizabeth, with, can someone be too honest?
No. The end.
Was...
No.
No.
Well,
shortest segment in the history, right?
Yeah, all done. But I really do believe that. And I think that we've had so many people speak to the importance of honesty and integrity and that kind of thing. And Marianne O'Connell pointed out in her interview, you can't trust someone. Once they told a lie, you always wonder if they are telling you the truth. So it chips, it doesn't just chip, it chops credibility in half. Mm-hmm. But I think the problem comes when people are too worried about what other people think, or being pleasers, or, you can be ugly about it and be truthful, or you can say it in a way that people can receive it and be constructive in the way that you deliver it. But I think, one of the things that we talked about with Marianne was that when you're confident enough in what you believe and what you think and how you operate, then if somebody doesn't like you, it's okay.
C'est la vie. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, not everybody's going to like you. Not everybody's, in my dating book, I said, if the first date doesn't work out, it's not a reflection on anybody in particular necessarily. It's just that you're not a good fit. And that is okay. There's somebody for everybody. So the same thing in business. There is somebody who's good fit for you, work-wise, employee, employer, all of those relationships. You just have to find that good fit and someone who delivers the truth in the way that you receive it well.
Yeah. The point that Marianne made was she is so confident in her work and has so much experience. She's being paid as an advisor. People want to hear the truth about their franchises. Mm-hmm. And the reality is, when we have an area of expertise like Marianne O'Connell has, we go to her because we want to hear the truth. So if we are patty caking around it, or we're fluffing it up, or we're a little too diplomatic about it, it's the candidate, the client, the customer isn't always able to hear it. So Marianne has learned to be almost brutally honest. She's just right out there saying it. And like you said, sometimes that could be offensive to some people. But trust me, if I went to an attorney, if I went to a doctor, if I went to a CPA, if I went to my mechanic, I want the truth. I want it is in black and white. I don't want anybody patty caking around that. Tell me the way it is so I can get where I need to go, solve this problem or whatever. So that honesty is what we're paying for. And secondly, like you pointed out, it gives us credibility. It's that this person is going to speak the truth no matter how ugly it is, and we can count on them to do that. So it's credibility, tenfold by being able to do that.
Well, and the thing is too, that when they know you're truthful, they know that they can believe what you say and you can make a decision. Mm-hmm. So when you do patty cake around it, then you create a lot of uncertainty within your relationship, within business decisions. If you're a consultant who's like, well, we'll see, you could do this.
What about that? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I want somebody who has a strong opinion and who's going to say, okay, this is the best course of action that I see for you, and here's why. And here's what I think will happen if you don't choose that. I don't want some mealy-mouthed person.
No.
I mean, so it's important to know what your opinion is.
Mm-hmm. It's so fast.
Marianne doesn't have a problem knowing that, I don't think. And I think that sometimes people are like, what? But that's exactly what you need in the role that she plays.
Yes. It's so true. I had an experience of that yesterday. I've been battling a decision for several weeks, actually, if I was honest, longer than that. But a decision that I need to make, and I go this direction, and I go that direction, and I run the numbers, and I do this, and I do that. And finally, one of my franchisors says, let me coach you through this. And I'm like, Yeah, you would do that? So he sat down in front of me and he says, I know as a coach, I'm not supposed to tell you what to do. He said, but I'm going to tell you what to do. I tell you, in fact, I did. I kind of gave him a virtual hug. I said, oh my gosh, I've gone to a dozen other people and they all said, well, you could do this. And what do you think? And how do you feel? And I don't know. Tell me what to do.
That's the problem.
Tell me what to do. So we do appreciate it when people are honest. So I'm going to go back to where you started, which is, I think the conclusion is no, we can't be too honest.
Simple answer. But sometimes it takes you a little lap around to get it. You know, you have to work through all that in your mind.
La, 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 la.
Well, and I think we all do that. And I think the harder the decision and the bigger the impact, the more certainty we want. And so, and sometimes there's no 100% correct answer. And most of the time in life, I think that's the case. And what you have to do, and the biggest lesson I ever learned with this was when my son had the seizures. And I was a single parent and his dad didn't show up to all the appointments and participate all that much. So I was making the decisions and I would have my mother with me, but she would say, I can't advise you on this. Like, this has to be your decision, because she didn't want to feel guilty if it wasn't the right one.
Right.
And so I ended up having to really just accept that I was doing the best I could with the information I had. And there was not necessarily always 100% correct answer. And so I think I really trusted the doctor, thankfully. And so when you have someone who knows their business and is confident in that, it makes those uncertain decisions a little easier.
Oh, yes.
So I think that it's critically important to be brutally honest, and because business decisions can be almost as big as a health decision when your livelihood depends on it. So
absolutely.
Now I think not only is it no, but it's heck no.
No. You can't be too honest.
Well, and capital O.
Now, granted, we could lack a little diplomacy and tact, but we'll talk about that another time. For now, you got your answer to your question, audience, okay? The answer is no. You cannot be too honest. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today, where passion and purpose collide, profits are made, and relationships are forged. This is Beck and Liz signing off and wishing you another purpose-filled and profitable week.